I'm beginning the chapter 6, section 4 video with the very tail end of chapter 3 because I couldn't figure out how to fix something and I just didn't want to. Anyway, so Congress voted to actually get a navy. It's like let's start one from wherever. They started this, like the Continental Congress said, yes, this is a good idea, perfection, let's do that, as early as 1775. But I mean, like, boats are big and it takes a while to build them. And so they were only really able to build enough warships to not really do much impact at all on the British. The British at this point are recognized as the most powerful navy in the world. So it's like, yeah, okay, but maybe you should just, like, slow your roll, man. Like, sit back, see how this plays out. Um, the Americans are able to kind of take the guerrilla tactics. And remember, when I say guerrilla, I mean the one with the U, not the one with the O, even though it really would be funny if you just, like, had a dude that just went up to the British redcoats and just, like, screamed in their face and beat on his chest and was like, ha ha, I got you now. I'm imagining that and I'm just thinking it would be very funny. Anyway, sorry. Um, but anyway, the American sailors are able to take these guerrilla tactics that the people who fought in the French and Indian War were able to learn during that war, and that are currently being utilized by the fighting forces in this war. The American fighting forces, they do that for British ships. So they, like, will dart in, mess with them. I cannot think of what a hit and run tactic would be on a big old boat, but this is what they say happened. And you know what? I am not a boat person, so I am not even going to be like, well, I don't think that could happen. It's like, I know nothing about boats other than hopefully they do not sink. So they have these hit and run attacks on British shipping. We are not targeting their military targets. We are targeting merchant ships, because if you cut into somebody's economy, that is just as good as sinking a ship. But we have the British fleet who, like, blockade up and down the Atlantic. There we are, the Atlantic seaboard. So, like, you don't have a ton of shipping that is happening through these kind of ports. And in fact, this is one of the weirdest. No, it's not one of the weirdest things, but it is a weird thing. So the most famous battle of the American Revolution, a place where it is fought in the American colonies on the American continent. The most famous naval battle actually took place off the coast of England in 1779. You have a ship called the Bonhomme Richard, meaning the good guy Richard. Love it. It is being commanded by John Paul Jones. This is one of those famous Americans that kind of fits into the lore of our country. And I mean, you may be familiar, maybe you've heard the name before, but you may not necessarily know, like, 100% who he was. But I'm about to tell you. So he and his crew on the Bonhomme Richard, they target the British warship called the Serapis. They're firing cannons. You've got muskets going, and it's a big old war. And it looks like Jones is going to have to, like, call it. They are trying really hard to make sure that. I'm sorry, I have completely lost my track of thought because somebody is at my door and I'm going to ignore them. Okay. Because I want to finish this. So you had, oh yeah, John Paul Jones, and there's a bunch of people dead, and they're like, dude, you're gonna have to surrender. And he's like, I have not yet begun to fight. uh, so it's famous for him. And privateers are armed civilian ships that have the permission of their government to actually attack the enemy ships. So, they're kind of like pirates. Pirates are fun. All right. Hopefully, I guess I'm gonna go answer my door. All right.